If someone's developmental needs were rarely if ever met during their early years, it doesn't mean that they will realise this. Due to how painful this would have been, they would have ended up blocking out, or their brain would have ended up blocking out what took place. And this would have taken place in order to stop them from being overwhelmed with pain and their life coming to an end. However, although this can be a mystery, this stage of their life, they can be aware of the symptoms of having had these experiences during this stage of their life. And so now that they are an adult, it can be incredibly difficult for them to trust. And through not being able to trust, they can spend a lot of time experiencing fear and anxiety. They can constantly be worrying about having enough to eat, having enough money, even having somewhere to live. And so they can be overly preoccupied with their basic needs. And another part of this is that it can be hard for them to let someone in, to let people in. And so most, if not all, of their relationships could be very shallow. The people in their life could be more like associates. And they might not have ever had an intimate relationship. And if they have, this may have been a time when they were unable to fully let go. Or perhaps they may have been harmed. But if they were unable to fully let go, this would have perhaps been a relationship that didn't last for very long. And so would have soon come to an end. And at this point, it could be said that they just need to learn how to relax and to trust that their needs will be met, to trust that they won't be harmed, to surrender. But of course, if they have had these early experiences, which would have caused them to experience a lot of pain and to form a number of disempowering associations and beliefs, their whole system won't be able to trust. It won't just be an idea or a belief that they have in their intellect. Their whole system will not be able to trust. And so in order for their life to change, they will need to resolve the trauma and the emotional wounds and to change the beliefs and the associations that were formed way back in order for them to trust. The stage of their life that would have related to when they would have created or should have created a sense of trust would have been from the moment they were born until around the first year of their life. And this was a stage that Erik Erikson described as trust versus mistrust. So if this stage of their life had gone well, they would develop a basic sense of trust. So they would know deep down that their needs would generally be met, that people are reliable in general. And so this would have a positive effect on their mental and emotional health because they would be able to relax. They wouldn't need to live in survival mode. And so they would be able to focus on their so-called higher needs and pursuits. And this would allow them to live a fulfilling life. But as this didn't take place, it would have stopped them from developing a basic sense of trust. So their needs might have rarely, if ever, been met. And if their mother or their primary caregiver was around, this may have been a time when they were on the receiving end of misattuned care. So perhaps through their mother being emotionally shut down and unavailable, she wasn't able to tune into their needs, to empathize, and this perhaps would have played a part in why she left them. Because if she was in tune with her emotions and was able to empathize, then she wouldn't have been able to have done this. And this would then have stopped them from receiving the attention, the nutrients, the emotional and the physical nutrients, and the physical affection that they needed in order to grow and to develop a sense of trust. And perhaps the mother may have also believed that her child needed to adapt to her needs, not the other way around. And this can be seen as a very old view where the baby or the child is seen as manipulative and controlling, and it needs to be shown, when in reality the baby or the child has these needs because they need them met in order to grow and develop. They don't just have a need just like an adult wants an ice cream for the sake of it. They have these needs because they need someone to be there so they can grow in the right way, because of course the baby can't regulate themselves. They need someone else to be there to soothe them, to feed them. An infant can't just end up walking to the fridge or call up for a takeaway. Of course, they need someone to be there for them, to feed them, to give them attention, to hold them. And so, of course, if an infant does not have a mother or a primary caregiver who is available, it is going to do a lot of damage. And so through being treated in this way, it's going to be normal for them to find it hard to trust in life, hard to trust that their needs will be met, hard to trust that people are reliable, and they can be very suspicious, even paranoid, and believe that the world and others simply can't be trusted. And in order to handle this pain, they would have had to repress and to disconnect from themselves. Their true self may have withdrawn and gone into hiding. And so if you can relate to this, you can see that you find it hard to trust, and you are struggling to support yourself, to open up to others, then you may need to reach out for external support. And this can be a time when you will have a lot of deep pain to work through. This pain can be pushed down into your brain and your body, and different parts of your brain can do its best to keep this pain at bay. But through working through this pain and resolving your trauma and questioning what you believe, you will gradually be able to settle down and to trust and to open up to others. So if you can relate to this, please understand that it wasn't your fault that you were left and were not given the care that you needed. But now, of course, you are an adult, you can change your life. So please don't suffer in silence, and reach out for the assistance that you need to gradually change your life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.